Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really well. My name's HUMNA and I create content connected to art, healing and spirituality. This morning I ran a session which was amazing and it was connected to the two names that I received today, which was really synchronistically sitting with the grid that I had planned. And when I started working on it, I realized, oh my God, it is amazing how Allah choreographs every single second of our lives, and we think of it as if it's like a coincidence or something that just kind of happened out of the blue. But there is nothing at all in the universe that happens randomly, because everything is planned, everything is written. And it's incredible when you connect to Allah, connect to creativity, connect to your daily life, and the more you bring Allah's consciousness into the lives that we live, it just changes your whole perception. Your whole day just is like spent in ecstasy, literally. It's really weird because the time sort of does expand. You start doing things with more ease, you're more present, and there's a major shift that happens. And I don't know if you're feeling it or if I'm just going blabbering about what I am feeling. It's like everything just seems to sit in its place in the way it's meant to. And it's such a beautiful, peaceful feeling of surrendering when we create connected to Allah and His, names and the Quranic ayat. So I'm just really excited for you to join me today, inshallah ta'ala. So let me just read, as always, the two names from my book here. Um, and one thing that really, talking about synchronistic sort of events that happen, I'm going to show you. Today is the 15th of March, right? So date is 15th. So the names that, and these names came to me through my meditation, like before Ramzan even started. So I have a list that I'm following, that I got guided from Allah, and I'm following those names one after the other. And it's literally that particular name was given for that day without even me knowing. So the destiny, qadar, whatever it is all so in His control. And at that time I had no plans of running the session with this other girl who I did it with. It was just how it fitted in exactly on the day, with the right grid, in the right way, and it just was flowing. So the name is Ya Muqaddim and Ya Muakhir. Now, I do have to make a confession. When I studied, like when I've heard Allah Mia's names earlier when I was younger, right? It was I these two names were never in my vocabulary, and I didn't even have the understanding of the meaning of what they are. So for me, it was like a very beautiful new journey. I mean, I've heard Ya Awwal, Ya Akhir, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Malik. These are like the main, the ones that people normally Alhamdulillah, excuse me, sort of use. But Ya Muqaddim and Ya Muakhir, I'd never personally know. But leave me a comment and let me know if these were two names that you were guided to for different reasons in your life and you knew about it, or were you like me who didn't know about them, before diving deeper into it today, or earlier this day. So, Ya Muqaddim, I'll read a little bit from my book and then I'll sort of see what comes through, and then we'll inshallah start the grade. So, Al Muqaddim is the one who continually moves things forward in time. So, there is never a moment when things are not moving. Even when you think that things are not moving, they're stagnant, they're still, they are always moving. You see, because energy, your soul at your base core level, you can't be sitting still. The stillness that you feel even in the void, when the Zen masters and all that, it is still, there is still some movement, like the blood is still flowing, right? Your heart is still beating. You don't stop your heart beating even though your physical body is sitting still. So everything is in constant movement, and it is always moving forward in time. A form the root takes, kadama, means to step forward, putting one foot in front of the other. I love this analogy of one foot in front of the other. You could not walk if you didn't put one foot on front of the other. You would be hopping if you were moving with your feet like that, and you don't go through life hopping, right? So you have to go one step at a time. So the front foot is in the front, the back foot is in the back, and you think about that when you walk, you could not walk without that format or that posture, right? You have to put one foot forward and one foot at the back. Now, the one foot at the back is still in movement of moving forward, and the one that is in front is actually going to be still, but it's still going to be in movement when it sort of is there. You move this one and then you move this one, so they're still going to be in motion. They're always moving one step at a time, and the step that you take in front is also moving because of ya muqtadim, and the one that is staying at the back, which is not moving, is also moving, but you and I can't see it, but it is still moving and in motion in time, one foot on in front of the other. So this one's taken care by Allah, the one that you move, and the one that stays also are being taken care of, ya muqaddim. So when you put your qadam down on the floor, like now when you walk, look at it, understand it, that what an incredible mechanism he must have put inside your body for you to literally be able to walk like that, to stand like that, and to move in the way that he has designed you to move, one foot in front of the other. You can't live through life hopping. You have to walk one foot at a time. So what that does is it brings our mind to the understanding that symbolically Allah is telling us, try not to rush, right? Slow down, understand that I am the one moving your feet. I am the one opening the experiences and giving you different, whatever is coming in your life, people or education wise, or whatever it is that you are moving towards. I'm the one doing it for you. So relax yourself. Understand that I might move this one forward, but I might not allow the back one to move forward as yet. When it will be time, it will move forward, but even when it is still here at the back, it is still moving in time. Things are always moving forward in time, even when you can't see them, even when you can't believe in them, even when you don't feel them, they are still always moving in time, because Ya Muqaddam is the one who's constantly making them move. When this quality is reflected in a human being, they realize how it is that everything happens in its own time, in perfect sequence, one after the other. So when you create the grid, you probably see it all the time in my work. You start from the center dot, and as you move forward, one step at a time, one line, one circle, one movement of your hand, everything is literally in a sequence. You can't go from 1 to step number 10 and just skip the middle part. One thing I was thinking about this morning when I was looking at a tree, and what came through was the seed that's planted under the ground can't become a flower right away, right? So it has to have the trunk, it has to have the roots, then it has to have the trunk, then it has to have the branches, then it has to have the leaves, and then if it's ready, it will have a flower. Once it has a flower, then it will bloom into, fruits, like it will produce fruits. So there is a process, there's a sequence, there's a movement, there's a rhythm, there's a dance that happens, which we can sometimes see, but sometimes you have to be really patient, because we might think, oh, maybe the flower is going to come, or maybe the fruit's going to come. But if Allah has written for that plant to produce flowers and have fruits, it will, in the time that he has written, because there's a perfect sequence to Ya Muqaddam, and he's the one who's going to take it step by step. So we don't need to rush our lives. We don't need to like constantly push. I want this, I do this, da 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 da. can just like take a nice deep breath in and understand that even when we are still, even when we are doing nothing, there is still time that is flowing. We are still learning, we're still growing, we're still in movement forwards towards our Allah. Al Muqaddim is step by step making the pilgrimage to the inner sanctum. Invocation of Ya Muqaddim is a remedy for impatience and a remedy for all who have trouble letting go of the feelings they have to be in control of the timing and sequence of events. Most times we're like, always trying to control when this will happen. And sometimes we say, how will this happen? I don't know if this will happen. We constantly have this mental battle going on. So Allah is telling us through this name that you don't have to be impatient. Just calm your nerves down and know that every day the steps that you take towards wherever it is that you need to go, I'm going to take you. You'll always be moving towards that, what I'm going to be taking you. So don't stress about it. Let go of control and understand that you belong to me and I will take bestest care of you. So don't rush things. Let things happen at a pace that is comfortable for you, because Allah knows when to unfold something in front of you, when to kind of close something for you. He knows when your vessel is ready to, absorb that knowledge, and he knows when your body is not ready, so it will protect you. He will protect you from that knowledge. So when you get ready, then he will open it for you. So don't rush into, why am I going to learn, how am I going to learn? I'm so like, sometimes we use really harsh words for ourselves. I can't even say it. I'm so like, I can't do this and I can't do that. I am not good enough, and all those sort of feelings. So Allah is saying to us that just relax, be easy on yourself. It brings in inner ease with which to engage the feeling that you must push things forward faster. It makes you feel like you need to kind of just calm your nerve. You need to ease down with which to engage with that feeling that you have. You need to push, push, push. You need to study, study, study. Sometimes, when we're even, it happens with when we're doing artwork also, when we're working in artwork for too long, you kind of had at some point you kind of like, I'm done, I just want to break from it. So you move back, and then 2 3 days later when you go back into it, there's a new picture that comes through, a new energy shift that happens because you've changed in the 2 days, right? So don't be like so aggressively always constantly pushing forward, because the steps that you need to take, they will happen in the right time, in the way he wants you to. So stop controlling too much. And so this is Ya Muakhir for you, sorry, Ya Muqaddim for you. And then it says here, with which it can be paired in recitation, is Ya Muakhir. So I'm going to read Ya Muakhir also, and this is such a beautiful name. Al Muakhir is the one who is continually moving each thing back into its perfect placement in time to fully manifest that which is already complete at its source in Allah. You see, when we speak about the qadr of Allah, before you and I know it, before we choose something in for our life or whatever it is that happens in life, it has already been written by Allah. It's already done. So we keep doubting it. Oh, will it happen? Will it not happen? How will it happen? When will it happen? This will happen. Blah will happen. All of those questions. And Allah's saying, Ya Muakhir has already written something down for you, and you will continually move towards that thing, and it will come into manifestation when it's perfect for you, right? So don't try to like, first of all, he says don't push anything. Try to slow down and understand you have to go one step at a time. The next one is, he's saying, is the one who's continually moving each thing back into its perfect placement, meaning something that is also always in this position. And what happened is, because you went away, like something happened, but then you had to like sort of come back in to fit into this, that what was written for you is already written. You doubted, and so you pushed that dream away. You questioned it, so you pushed it away. But Allah, Ya Muakhir, always knows when it's time for it, that dream to come to life, because that dream that you have in your heart is already written, is already complete. It's already there for you. It is you who has to walk through the path to get to the place where you are able to receive and be ready for getting that dream come true, right? You know, when I think there's a Rumi ki quote, I can't, something, oh, I can't remember any. Anyway, connected to this, there was a Rumi quote, now I'm completely blank. Anyway, the root akhara means to step back toward the source of all being. Let me just see if I read it again and it'll come to me. Al Muakhir is the one who is continually moving each thing back into its perfect placement in time to fully manifest that which is already complete at its source in Allah. You know, when they say there's this quote, God, you don't meet your lover, lovers don't meet each other, they're already within themselves. So that who your real partner is, like Hazrat Adam alayhi salam's real partner was Bibi Hawa, like Eve, she was already within him. So when Hazrat Adam alayhi salam asked for her, it was she was already within him that Allah brought her out for him, right? So that what you dream is already at source in Allah's qadr, with the pen in the book is already written. You just have to believe that it is written for you. And that's when you start believing in that, Ya Muakhir will click it back into place because it's already in place. It's you who doubts its placement, but Ya Muakhir has already placed it in the source. Like it's already clicked. So for example, if you want to be a doctor, it's already written when you're a little girl or child or whatever, that seed has been planted in you that you want to be a doctor, right? It's already written, you are already the doctor. You just have to go through the steps to study really hard to get to becoming a doctor, and Allah Ya Muakhir is going to help you take the steps, go to which university, get what grades, all of that, because he's already written that you will become the doctor. It's already done. You just have to follow a certain path that he pushes, guides you to, not pushes, he doesn't push, he just guides you to. The root of an akhara means to step toward the source of all being. One consequence of this is that Al Muakhir is also the one who fully engages in the process of manifesting each thing at the perfect time. So, which school you're going to go to? Now, you're already a doctor. Allah's written it in His book, you're already a doctor, right? So, you just have to go through the phases of life in the way that Allah has chosen for you to go. He's saying that He doesn't put the seed in you and then just walk away. He stays with you as you choose your class, as you choose your friends, as you choose your teachers. All of these were chosen by Allah for you to have all the experiences. He's choosing every single thing. He fully engages in the process of manifesting each thing at the perfect time. Your parents, your siblings, your children, your spouse, your teachers, everything, what college you go to, what grades you get, everything. He's making sure he's engaging with the process every single step, that all the past things that you've gone through in your life were actually manifested only because he was taking care of everything in the way he knows is best for you, and it all happened at the perfect time. You could not become a doctor when you are 14 years old. You have to go through a certain system, and that system he will make sure that you go through it to get to your dream, inshallah ta'ala. So don't stress about like how will I make things happen. Understand that what is for you is already written. That dream that you have, that person that you want to be with, that whatever life you want to live is already written for you. You just have to trust and believe in Ya Muakhir, and he will guide you to the next steps, where you need to go, how you need to go, because he is literally choreographing every single day, second, millisecond of your life, so that you're able to manifest exactly what you want to. But at the perfect time that he chooses. So you can't rush the process. It is the one who brings a thing to closure in complete perfection, and it's in its own time. It helps you to fulfill what you have already begun, meaning you already know that you want to be a doctor. So it's already started. He will help you close it. He will help you get to the end. So he will not leave you halfway through. His way of, making things happen is that he will hold your hand at every step. So nothing is not part of his plan. So sometimes we get like disheartened, or we say, oh, things are not happening my way. They're not happening your way, but they're happening the way Allah chooses them to. And that's the beauty of surrender, understanding. The more you understand the names of Allah, the more your shoulders relax, your nervous system relaxes, because he says you have nothing to worry. I am the one who's making you move forward, and I am the one who's helping you take every single step in the direction that it's meant to get to that place which I have already decided for you. So Ya Muqaddim and Ya Muakhir, he's in control. You have nothing to worry. Invocation of Ya Muakhir offers help to those who have trouble setting the right pace in life to achieve success and to accomplish goals. Sometimes we want success, whatever success is for you, too fast. And Allah knows that if you got the success, if you got that relationship, if you got that job, if you got whatever it is that you really desperately want, sometimes you will actually forget Allah in your success. You'll get attached to your success, you'll get attached to your goals. So when Allah takes you at the right pace in your life to achieve whatever that is the success for you, he will take you in a way when you are ready for it. He won't like give you something when before you're ready, right? So he has to make sure as a way, because he protects you from too much overload, right? He's the one who's going to make it make your success and accomplish your goals, but in the right pace, so that you don't get too overwhelmed or you don't get too attached to your goals and you forget him. So he knows that you might actually get your success and then you forget about him. So what he'll do is he'll delay it, he'll postpone it, he'll make you work harder, you'll have to pray a little longer, and that's only and only out of his love for you, to get you ready and to also give you the clarity, do I really want this? Right? He wants you to pray for it, ask for it, wait for it, be patient for it, and if it's good for you, he will give it to you, inshaAllah ta'ala. It may effectively be paired in recitation with Ya Muqaddim. So again, the two names go together, and they're beautiful names. So I really hope that you resonate with them at some level and are able to create with me, inspired by them. So I wanted to say that today was the 15th, right? And the name is 7 plus 7 plus 1. So 7 plus 11, 14, and that's 15 also. So how random, like how not random, nothing is random. On the 15th of March, he allows us to do a name that is also 15. That comes out two names random because that's my human brain, right? And so that's 15. So if we were to say 1 plus 5, I haven't done this, so I don't know. 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1. So that's 10, 11, 12. That is equals to 3. 3 is the number of resurrection, meaning things have to die for the new things to begin. You have to, when you move forward, you have to let go of something in the past. So one step forward means that one step is at the back. Then when this step moves forward, then there's something at the back. So there'll always be, when you're moving forward, there will always be something that you leave behind, so that you make space for new. So you could be losing friends, things could be really shifting in your life, you could be internally changing, you could be really connecting to Allah, and you don't want to connect to other people. That could also be happening, or the opposite could be happening. Either way, whatever is happening, it's number 3. That's a number of resurrection, which means it's the breaking of the cycles, exciting times, kind of like rebirth, death and rebirth, right? So with that, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, I'm going to take you on a journey of Ya Muqaddim and Ya Muakhir. This is a grid I've done before, but connecting it to a new process has been quite fun. So I'm going to share that with you. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, you will need a protractor and a compass and a ruler with a pencil. And so in my sessions, the one thing I want to be very clear about is that the magic of being able to create from your mind, engaging your mind and creating the grid, engaging your body and doing the writing and creating this, the lines and everything on top of the grid, then there comes a part of the soul. Now, the part of the soul is all about colors and patterns. Colors and pattern is something ibadat that you do with your own self. So I leave you halfway through only so that you're able to become the creative person that you are meant to, and you can channel into your own soul's voice and patterns so that you give it. Like, so I can't be holding your hand always, right? I'm gonna die, right? So no, I'm not gonna die tomorrow, but I mean, the video has to end at some point, and you have to continue the process of creation without me. You've got the grid, you've got the next step, and now how you fill it up is between you and your Allah. So sometimes people like to finish it, sometimes they don't, sometimes they leave it for months and weeks and come back to it, and that's totally okay. You don't have to finish it, because I don't, many times I don't. I like to work on the grid, enjoy it, learn from it, absorb the information, and then if I'm not able to do it, I just let it go, because I don't have attachments to pieces or to anything. So Alhamdulillah, I will start the journey. Just place a dot in the center of the sheet. I do have to say this is one of my favorite grids. I've really enjoyed. So every step that we take, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, is guided by Allah, by Muqaddim, just creating a horizontal line. I'm not measuring it. I'm just creating a line on my sheet. I'm placing my compass 90 degrees at the top and 90 degrees at the bottom. Just going to use my ruler, place it in the center. I'm going to mark 1, 2, 3, and then 1 centimeter, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the inside is 3 centimeters. I'm just going to measure it with my ruler. The compass, I'm going to open my compass to 3 centimeters. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Place my compass. It's a little off, so I'm just going to go with the mark that I've made. I hope it's visible on the screen. Can't really see a bit. I'm going to open my compass to the next mark and create the next circles. Now this is, symbolically speaking, this is your heart. When you come into this world, your heart starts seeing, well, when you come into the world, or when you come into your spiritual awakening, or your connection with your Allah, when you build a deeper connection with your Allah, you start seeing the world through the eyes of your heart. As you open your heart, you start creating ripple effect. You start becoming kind. You start becoming more observant. You start connecting to people at soul level. You're not superficial. You start seeing Allah in the way the bird is flying or the lion is walking. I don't know where this is coming from, but the mosquito is flying and the butterfly is going into the cocoon. The caterpillar is crawling. In everything you start seeing Allah, because your heart is now open. And as your heart opens, all your other chakras start flowing with energy. So now when you think about it, this is your heart and this is the vibrations that you create. So when you connect it in your heart, when you have Allah, then Allah becomes your priority. You start meeting people who talk about Allah. You start hanging out with people who give you a space where you feel safe. You start doing things like doing art as ibadat, or you start healing, you start connecting to nature, you start spending time with yourself. One of the things that when you start connecting to Allah, you really start enjoying time with yourself. You could be doing art, you could be just sitting in nature looking at the sky, but that is a gift that Allah gives you, because He says in the Quran to reflect on the ayats, right? What that means is reflect on the signs that I have given you. What are the signs? Everything in nature, the tree, the birds, the the sky, the stars, everything. So you start spending more time with your Allah. And one of the signs, when you start spending time, when you start connecting to Allah, He gifts you the time every single day for you to have some few moments where you're able to reflect about the day and about His creation. And it's a beautiful, beautiful way of practicing gratitude also, and reflecting. If you haven't had the time to study Quran, you can just sit on the grass, listen to the wind, just sit back, have a cup of tea, and that in itself is ibadat. If you're sitting and reflecting with your Allah, where your first circle intersects with your vertical line, just going to check if this is the same. Yep. You're going to create a... Now, most people say, oh, Hamna, can you go slow? Well, I would highly recommend that you just pause the video, right? Because if I go slow, then the video goes longer, and then it takes longer for me to upload it. So please pause the video if you'd like to slow the process down. I'm just creating the... I'm doing this in the night, so I'm thinking, I don't know if it's going to be clear for you guys or not, but I'm really praying to Allah that it is. Some reason my center isn't coming right. I've had a crazy chaotic day that energy picks up. You see, energy never lies, right? So if I'm not able to create with the center aligning, I know for a fact that something is a little off in my energy. Definitely off. Yeah, definitely off, guys. Yep, definitely off. Now I'm going to try and see if I can do it again. I'm really sorry about this, but I would really like to do it again. I'll try and be quick and do it in silence. I heard you make a plan and then I make a plan. You see, we think we know, but it is only He who knows. And that's the beauty of Allah, that you don't have to be embarrassed or be like, oh my God, I couldn't do it. It's nothing of that sort. Things are not in our control all the time. So if one of the things as a teacher, or somebody who shares these things, I feel like we have to be so kind to ourselves. We are so harsh. This is not professional. That is not right. This is not how it's done. Makes my head spin. So no, made a mistake. It's okay. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6. Let me see if I can get it right this time. I hope so, inshallah. If I don't, that means my energy is not not in the place to share it, so I will postpone it then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the circle the same, and I'm going to do with my protractor, get my vertical line. I'll open my heart chakra in after I've done the seed of life. You know what I just heard? I heard like the steps you took in the morning might not be the steps that he wants me to take at this point. So just keep flowing rather than questioning and judging what is happening. Just keep flowing. And that's when your intuition speaks to you. You don't have to like question it all the time. The way to trust your intuition is, even if you look silly, keep going. It's my favorite sound in the world, the movement of the compass. Where these almond shaped tips are, I'm going to use the tip of that almond points and create the next circles. Okay. Just drawing my heart chakra expansion. I was trying to explain this in the morning session also, that, you know, sometimes when we create lines over lines, layers over layers, there's a sense of chaos that sometimes develops, like what are we seeing, what is being visible. But then that what is meant to be created will get created even if you aren't able to make sense of it. As you just keep going, I have to just fix my lamp, guys. Okay. I have my beautiful daughter sitting here with me today. She's listening to all this. She watches her YouTube, and then now she's watching her mother make a YouTube video, so it's kind of exciting. She gave me that teenage look, like, oh, mother. Anyway, now when you look at this piece, how it's evolved is the inside is your heart, When you start connecting to your heart, purifying it and filling it with Allah, it blossoms, right? You start creating your own world. You start seeing beauty in everything. And that's where you start standing out from the world, because you're moving in the frequency of God consciousness. You're more connected to your Allah. You're doing the right things. You're meeting the right people. So the dunya will automatically, you'll feel separated from them, because they'll all be talking about worldly, temporary things, and you'll be talking about Allah, heaven, your soul, your emotions, your trauma, like the real stuff. Like, you won't be ashamed of it, because these are all gifts. Your story is your gift from your Allah, right? So you're in acceptance, you're in healing, you're journeying into your heart, and you're owning all that you are. But not everybody is going to be at the same wavelength as you, so they might not connect with you. And you'll start revolving, like you'll start spinning at a different frequency to other people. Now when that happens, you start connecting to your Allah, and your vision just becomes clearer. And as your vision becomes clearer of who your Allah is, you're able to see things better. I'm using the thin petals, the tips of the thin petals, and creating a cross. Now, when you start seeing Allah in everything, when you start enjoying the company of Allah, you're always, always under the supervision of your Allah, like a CCTV on top of you. What truly happens is you start feeling protected. I'm drawing a triangle here, which symbolizes protection. You see how He is protecting you in every phase of your life. No matter which part of the circle you are protected. No matter where you go, He's always going to be with you, inshallah. I'm going to go one more triangle here, as I see the tip of these thin thin petals. Sorry, sometimes I actually forget I'm making a video, and then I zone out. There we are. And then I think we can go one more in, guys. You use a smaller ruler, and look how her heart is protected by Allah's love. When it is filled with Allah, and He becomes our priority, our focus, He becomes the one we want to make happy, look how protected we feel from the inside. Now let's go the other way also. So our focus is on Allah, but that's not too much balance, right? Because Allah's created us in this dunya, so we have to balance ourselves in dunya also, right? We can't just be focused on Allah and that's it, oh my God. But dunya is also part of Allah's love and blessing for us. So we have to learn from it. We have to integrate with it. We can't just say, I don't like being blah blah. You were created and given an experience of a human being because He wanted to show you how much He loves you. For you, He created the bees and the butterflies, so that you could observe them and learn from them. He created the wind, the fire, the sun, the moon, the grass, everything was created so that you could remember your Allah when you awe about it, when you went like, oh my God, the moon, oh, it's so pretty, Allah created it for me. I love it when you kind of, for me, when I started saying, my Allah made the stars for me, my Allah sent the book for me. So it's not about everybody else. You make it so personal, so intimate, and Allah loves it. Allah loves that you are so close to Him that you think that everything was just created for you. Please understand, it's not about arrogance. It's about Allah's connection with you. So it's not saying He made it only for me, but just the acknowledgement, just the connection, just the communication. Thank you, Allah, for making this butterfly so beautiful. As I see it, I see your creativity in it. That kind of thing. Now, I'm going to take you through the whole thing one more time. As you see, the inside circle was the beginning of your heart. The heart got filled in with Allah's love. As Allah's love started flowing through you, you started seeing Allah in every layer of your life, and there was a ripple effect. The eating of the food, the wearing of the clothes, the way you talk, the way you meet people, the way you handle yourself at job, everything in relationships, in career, in your personal life, at your healing, everything became connected to Allah. As you got connected to Allah, you started spinning at a different frequency and standing out. As you started standing out, there is a sense of bloom, like the internal bloom happens. Like you started becoming like a beautiful flower. As you become the flower, you're connecting to your soul. Your heart is developing, evolving, and expanding. As it expands, you remember that Allah is always with you. No matter where you go, who you are with, what you're doing, He's always with you. Now, when Allah is with you, how do you feel? You feel safe. Then comes the triangle. You feel safe connected to the dunya that He's blessed you. You feel safe knowing that you come from the heavens above. So the top and the bottom come into the balance in this dunya. You see, when you are with your Allah, when you connect to your Allah, you are in His presence. When you are in your Allah's presence, you feel content. When you feel content, what truly happens is you come at peace. You become peace itself, and that's your natural state, to be at peace. Now, when you look at this peace clearly, when your focus, I'm going to do this, when your focus, your dunya and your akhirat, your dunya leads to your akhirat. Your dunya is the lower part under the horizontal line this way, and your akhirat is on the top. When your dunya and your akhirat are in sync, you are at peace. See how the peace sign is developing? It was always there. Yeah, you remember Ya Muakhir? It's always there. The peace sign was always there, but you couldn't see it because you weren't ready to see it. But when you were ready to see it, He took you through the layers. Every step was choreographed by Ya Muqaddim, and then Ya Muakhir brings you to peace. And then I'm going to use my compass. What an incredible journey. Seriously, guys. Like, do let me know how you find it. It's connected to the names of Allah. How do you feel about it? And leave a comment, so I'd love to hear it. And you see, when you are at peace, look at that. In darkness, you will find light. And in light, you will never be able to forget that the darkness is a gift from your Allah. How beautiful is this, guys? Like, geometry is such a magical, oh, I love it. Okay, there we go. Right? Now, in the earlier session I did this, I erased the whole thing and I created a different grid. Now, that's totally up to you. If you want to do that, you're most welcome to. For that one, it was saying that when you reach peace, your center of focus becomes Him and not you. So that kind of shifted the whole idea. So I'm going to just bring this and show you. So I erased, it's exactly the same grid, but I created circles around this one and allowed the circles to keep going till this whole thing was enveloped in circles. So this whole thing would be enveloped in circles. This is to say that even in darkness, everything where there is light, that what we see is by Allah for us. When we don't see Him, when we find that things are dark or we're lost, it is also Him. Now, how you choose to color this internal darkness of yourself, how would you like to define this? I would leave that up to you. Like I said, I do it only till I take you to the door, but then it's up to you how you go into the space with you and your Allah. So once you've done the grid, this one, you can either start working on it as it is, or you can actually do this phase. I love this phase, so I did it in the session, but again, it's totally up to you. This space is also really good, but for this one, I was thinking it'd be so cool to actually work with the lines that already exist in here. And for this one, I would make it more systematic and work with the lines of zikr here. So these would be the word of Allah, like the name of Allah, like the zikr here, and this would be a pattern. So how cool would it look like the pattern, which is the language of the soul, and then the body, where all and everything that I see through my eyes is all Allah. So I don't know when I'll be able to work on this, but this is something that I'm hoping that I'll be able to inshallah do. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, like, share, subscribe to my channel, help me share these videos with other people, bring them more healing, connection to your Allah, and create spaces and ways of you being able to communicate with your Allah. You see, when we write Allah's names, I speak about this all the time, you are actually not just writing Allah's name. He is allowing you to write his name. When you write his name, Alif Lam Lam Hey, what you're really doing is you're writing the alphabets of his light. Every alphabet is light. So when you're moving your hand and you're writing Allah or Ya Muqaddim Ya Muakhir, you are literally going to absorb light. And we all know that on the day of judgment in our akhirat, we will need this light to do the good deeds. Now, what better good deed would it be than to write his name, connect to his name, be in ibadat fully with your Allah, and create beauty inspired by him, not by his creation, by him himself. Isn't that just incredible? I just go in awe moments. So I really did, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of the session and how did your piece turn out to be. Share it with me, tag me, and I would absolutely love to see your work. So enjoy yourselves, and inshallah I will see you again in tomorrow's video. And I don't know what the name is going to be, but I love it that it's a surprise, and inshallah I'll create with you tomorrow. Take good care of yourselves, everyone, and have an absolutely beautiful sleep. Love you. Take care. Bye.